Violent football, swarming football, energy filled, exciting football. Football that's designed to put your sternum through your back. Football that's designed to make your opponent cough up blood. Football that's designed to bring snot bubbles when you lay the wood on their ass. And football that makes them afraid the next time the ball comes their way to not catch it. That is the type of football that the Miami Hurricanes defense plays. That is the type of football that the Miami Hurricanes defense must continue to play in order to beat Ole Miss and advance to the national championship. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. For all of you who are going to Phoenix to see the game in person, man, I wish y'all very safe travels. Hope you make a lot of noise for us Hurricane fans. I will be seated behind me doing my Hurricane Unfiltered live of the game. So if you're not there, definitely jump, or even if you are there, jump on board, man. I appreciate those who enjoy the game with me, enjoy the passion that I bring to my discussion of the game and my play-by-play of the game, etc. Man, that defense, bro, that defense is going to be what brings us to the national championship. It's very, very simple. I find it so amusing and almost entertaining, in fact, and laughable as to how the goalposts when it comes to the Miami Hurricanes is constantly moving. First, it was Texas A&M. Every single pundit ran their mouth about how Marcel Reed was going to be the difference. That Marcel Reed's elusiveness, that his athleticism, that his ability to make plays on the move, his legs would be the difference. And you saw how that turned out. He had 27 yards rushing on 15 carries. He got sacked 7 times. Did he have some success early on? Yeah, he had a little success. And then he didn't have any more success. Once they got a feel for him, his success was done. Once they started hitting him hard, his success was done. 3 points. That's what Marcel Reed got, Texas A&M. And I understand it was windy. It was windy for both teams. 3 points on his home field, Kyle Field, the 12th man, a place where they had not been held to 3 points in 24 years, a place that they have not been shut out in 55 years. And that's what the Miami Hurricanes did to Texas A&M and Marcel Reed. They made they did to Marcel Reed, making A&M fans walking out of the stadium saying that they hate Marcel Reed and that Marcel Reed sucks. A couple weeks earlier, this dude was in the Heisman conversation with an 11-0 Texas A&M team. Now, just because I understand scheduling and I understand that I didn't think A&M was as good as people thought they were, doesn't mean they're not good. Just doesn't mean it means they're not as good as people may have thought they were. Doesn't change the fact that they're a good football team. But Miami dominated that team. And then you bring in Ohio State, and here's the newest one. Now it's when it gets really, really comical because I don't think anyone's ever heard in the college football world, Team A's got the better offensive line, Team A's got the better defensive line, but I'm going to go pick Team B because I just think Team B has the pedigree to win. So the team that has the better trenches, you're picking to lose. When do you ever see that happen in college football? You never see that happen in college football. You never see people picking the team that doesn't have the better O line and D line. If they have one of the other, fine. But when it's almost a consensus that one team has the better O line and D line, has the better pass rush, has the better run blocking, has the better pass blocking. I mean, is just better up front. Bigger, better, stronger, faster. And yet you pick the other team because they have a player that you like. And yeah, without that player, that game would have been a blowout. I mean, that Miami would have won that game by 3 or 4 touchdowns, if not for Jeremiah Smith. But this is the goalpost movement that continues to happen. Now, then it became okay. Well, they're going to play Georgia because nobody picked Ole Miss to win. Nobody. And then Ole Miss does the unthinkable and beats Georgia, a team that's completely overhyped in itself, a team that has zero pass rush at all, a team that had 20 sacks in 13 games. I'm sorry, 14 games. Think about that. 20 sacks in 14 games. Miami's bookends, Ruben Bain Jr. and Akeem Mesdor, have as many sacks. Well, they have one less technically. They have 19 combined sacks, and Georgia's entire defense has 20. Like, think about that for a second. So, they have no pass rush. And yet I'm hearing now on different podcasts that, oh, the Trinidad Chambliss wore their pass rush out to the point they were dead tired. Interesting. Is that right? So when Georgia was up 21-12 at halftime, when Georgia then stopped them on a 3 and out in the fourth quarter, yeah, I know it was helped by a face mask that didn't get called, but nonetheless, it didn't get called, so you keep playing. Stopped them. They did stop them on 3 and out, nonetheless, based on that, and came back and tied the game that they trailed by 10 with 9.5 minutes to go. Yeah, warm out. The play that happened at the end of the game that actually set up the field goal to give them the win, to give Ole Miss the win, that wasn't about a pass rush that was dead tired. Because that was a drop back pass that Trinidad Chambliss threw. It wasn't like he rolled out on that play. It wasn't like he was on the move on that play. He dropped in a great pass. He just dropped in a great pass. The dude made a good throw, and he just dropped back and threw it. So that's what actually happened. And a terrible, terrible decision by Georgia to put their guy on an island on a 3rd and 5. It didn't make a lot of sense. Again, so now the goalpost has moved now because now Trinidad Chambliss is God Almighty. I mean, now he is like Marcel Reed on steroids to people. Really? Is that right? This is the same guy that quarterbacked a team that won 24-19 over LSU, the same guy that quarterbacked against Florida and trailed 24-20 going into the fourth quarter against the Gators. Guy got sacked 5 times by the Gators. And I'm not saying he's not a really good player, but it's just very interesting how one game changes the entire opinion of some of people about a team. One game. They played Tulane. They didn't play Texas A&M first. They played Tulane. So Miami's done back to back what Ole Miss accomplished beating Georgia, a team they already played. Which everyone knows that when you play a team twice, the team that lost the first game at this level typically loses the second game. The team that lost the first game typically wins the second game. Take a look at Georgia and Alabama. Same thing happened this year. When you're on that level, it's really hard to beat somebody twice. Beyond the fact that there's emotional feelings that you have for losing that game, there's just you make adjustments and stuff like that. And look, it wasn't like Georgia didn't score 34 points. It wasn't like Georgia didn't march back down from 10 points down and come down the field twice to tie the game. I mean, hell, it was a shocker that they didn't win the game right there because they had opportunities to beat Ole Miss. And then what are we talking about for Trinidad Chambliss? Oh, what could have been? And then instead, the narrative will be how great Gunnar Stockton is, who had thrown for 200 yards in that game, and how tough Gunnar Stockton is. The narrative would constantly shift, when it comes to playing against the Miami Hurricanes. The fact that the Miami Hurricanes are favored against Ole Miss, I'd rather them be the underdog. I really would. But the fact that Miami would have been an underdog to Georgia, a team that Ole Miss just beat, is even more ridiculous. Like it's nonstop. But here's what's going to have to happen. And I'm look, again, I respect Trinidad Chambliss. He's a great player, really good player. Defending Division II national champion quarterback. Yeah. He's played Georgia twice. He's played Oklahoma. The rest of that schedule that he's played is garbage. Bluntly, garbage. And he struggled in multiple games. He completes 66% of his passes, 4% more than Marcel Reed. So maybe he's slightly better than Marcel Reed. Maybe. Marcel Reed was a Heisman candidate going into the final game of the season. Heisman candidate. And if Marcel Reed had beaten Texas on the road, maybe Marcel Reed wins the Heisman Trophy, because then maybe Texas A&M wins the SEC and beats Georgia. I'm sorry, beats Alabama in the SEC championship, because Georgia wouldn't have gotten there. So it's like the nonstop adjustment when it comes to the Miami Hurricane discussion is just out of control. And let it continue to be that way. You want to go that direction. You want to tell me how great this guy is. You want to tell me that he's going to pick Miami apart. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, and I'm going to tell you my opinion of what's going to happen and what needs to happen in order for Miami to deal with a guy like Trinidad Chambliss, a guy that they have dealt with all year. And what I find even amusing is the tempo conversation about Ole Miss. Yeah, they run tempo. USF ran tempo. USF had a beast of an offense. USF's offense averaged 500 yards a game. USF's offense, I mean, good grief, man. 40, 42, 44 points per game. Let me confirm the exacts. USF offensively was third in the country, 488.7. Ole Miss, 496.2. North Texas, who plays in the same conference as Ole Miss, as South Florida, 512.4. I mean, passing, they were pretty good. I mean, you want to go look at the passing comparisons. I know all of a sudden Byron Brown's become some scrub quarterback. It's kind of interesting how that's worked itself out. But USF 488, yards per game, and you pull up the complete leaders, averaging 40.5 points per game. They score more than Ole Miss. You know what Miami did to that team? 49-12. 49-12. And I'm not saying Miami's going to score 49 points on Ole Miss. I'm not saying that. But quarterback play, I'm going to be real, pretty similar. Byron Brown's a bigger guy than Trinidad Chambliss. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and now all of a sudden he's being referred to as some type of bum or something. Like, he's 6'3", 230. He's a truck. He's a fast truck. And guess what he did this year? 66.3 completion percentage, 28 touchdowns to 7 picks, 3,158 yards passing. Guy was awesome this year for USF. Guy was awesome. Even the games they lost, it wasn't because of him. It wasn't because of him. It's because their defense wasn't very good. I mean, yeah, Miami shut him down. He only rushed for, 2 yards, 13 carries, 2 yards. He threw for 274. He was way under his typical completion percentage, though, 55.6 to 66.3. He did throw a pick. But they lost to Navy 41-38. He threw for 327. They lost to Memphis 34-31. He threw for 269. I mean, guy didn't play poorly when they lost. Like, this guy was lighting it up most of the season. And a tremendously athletic quarterback. And I know some people will sit here and say, he ain't Trinidad Chambliss. Man, who the fuck is Trinidad Chambliss? He was a Ferris State Division II QB last year. It is comedy to me listening to this stuff. And Miami's faced guys like Byron Brown. They faced freaking Kevin Jennings. They faced Marcel Reed. They faced CJ Carr, who's a mobile QB. They faced Mason Heichel, a mobile QB. They faced Tommy Castellanos, a mobile QB. Like, every mobile QB they faced, they shut down. DJ Lagway, mobile QB, shut them down. They did nothing on the ground. Nothing. And that's the first key to stopping a guy like this. And yeah, while Miami did lose to SMU, it's a different team that played SMU offensively right now. It's a different group. I mean, you don't really know if you don't know, but Miami was missing 7 starters in that game. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. It's not an excuse, because Miami still should have won that game. But Miami's a different team today than it was against SMU offensively, primarily offensively. Because Miami did get pieced up in the air as the game went on, because the Miami offense didn't do its job. But that game had the writing on the wall, becoming a blowout early on, and Miami's offense kind of didn't get the job done, dropping a touchdown pass. I mean, little things like that will cost you a game, in a close game on the road. But Kevin Jennings didn't run the ball anywhere. Hell, SMU had -2 rushing yards going into overtime. So Trinidad Chambliss is this dude. I mean, okay, fine, fine. Byron Brown rushed for 1,000 yards. I want you to understand. Byron Brown rushed 175 times for 1,008 yards and 14 touchdowns for South Florida. He was their leading rusher. He was their entire team. You think Trinidad Chambliss is better than Byron Brown? I would take, if you asked me to pick one, I would take Byron Brown. If I had the option of picking one of these guys to transfer to my school next year to play quarterback, I would pick Byron Brown. That's just me being honest. Size of a truck, throws a great ball, dynamic player. And Trinidad Chambliss is really, really good. He really is good. But let's temper the goalpost. Now I want to show y'all something, because what will slow down Trinidad Chambliss and his team is the fact that Miami hits hard. So this is how the Miami DBs tackle. Doesn't even include how Wesley Bissainthe tackles like a heat-seeking missile, how Mo Toure tackles like a heat-seeking missile. These guys will give up their life and limb to put you in the dirt. They will put themselves to the brink of exhaustion to put you in the dirt. I don't think people truly understand that. But this is a video where you're going to take a look at what Miami DBs did to Ohio State and how they hit those guys and how those hits early on impact the game later on. Okay? Let's take a look. Boom. Boom. Look at Jacoby Thomas. Perfect form tackle. Boom. Boom. Here we go. Boom. Boom. I mean, that hurts. That hurts. Boom. I mean, just light that tight end up right through him. Drive through him. Pile drive his ass. Boom. I mean, that is textbook tackling. Jacoby Thomas likes to hit people, man. He will knock himself out to knock you out. And this is a great one here coming up where you're going to see a hit on Carnell Tate. And that's a nice hit right there by Poyser. There you go. That's the hit right there. That's the hit right there. Boof. Right here. Oh, damn. No, it's right here. It's coming up. That's a hit on Carnell Tate earlier in the game. I mean, Poyser lit his ass up. And then you watch what happens later in the game. Ah, damn. Ah, he don't want it. He feels Jacoby coming through, and he puts his helmet right through him. Bro, this is the type of hitting that the Miami DBs are gonna put on these wide receivers for Ole Miss. These are the types of hits that they're gonna lay on Kejuan Lacey, the running back for Ole Miss. They're gonna hit them as if they're trying to kill them. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Carnell Tate did not want to catch a pass because he got hit so hard earlier in the game that he was mentally fucked. He was mentally fucked. He didn't want to feel that again. And he still felt it because Jacoby Thomas put his helmet right through his sternum. That's how the Miami Hurricanes hit defensively. That's the type of aggression and violence for which the Miami Hurricanes are going to hit those receivers and running backs and tight ends for Ole Miss. It's the aggression in which the D-line is going to hit and attack Trinidad Chambliss. Go back and look at when Wesley Bissainthe completely ran over Bo Jackson, who was blocking on the blitz. He came right through his ass, met him right here, ran him the fuck over, and then was already on Julian Sain for the sack. The Miami defensive ends are going to run that dude down. And what's going to happen is, while maybe he thinks that's Georgia, we're not Georgia. We're not Georgia. And the difference is that the Miami offense is going to keep him on the bench because Miami's going to run the ball down their throats, right up the gut. All the Canes fans were highly critical of James Brockermeyer earlier this year. I'm telling you right now, James Brockermeyer is the key to the game up front. He owned Caden McDonald for Ohio State, the guy that talked trash and said that he was going to do X, Y, and Z. James Brockermeyer destroyed him. He destroyed him, ladies and gentlemen. The Miami offensive line mauled Ohio State's D line, mauled them. Mark Fletcher running people over like we've never seen before. I mean, he is on another level right now. Telling you right now, people. Telling you right now. That is the type of hitting that makes teams quit. It's not the big hit. It's the continuing matriculation, is that the right word, of hits. Like you might get dropped by yeah, could you get knocked out with one punch in a boxing match? Absolutely. Ask a boxer what hurts a whole lot more. It's that nonstop onslaught of punch after punch after punch after punch after punch. Those body blow after body blow after body blow will make you quit. And I don't see the Miami Hurricanes all of a sudden stopping what they're doing. And I don't all of a sudden see Corey Heatherman not having a plan formulated to stop Trinidad Chambliss. I don't see that happening because he's going to have a plan to stop this dude. He has the dogs up front who have over 30 sacks from the defensive line this year. He has that dude, Keontae Scott, that nickelback, who is a rover everywhere and is going to get some blitzes and probably mark it down. Keontae Scott will have a sack in this game. Mark it down. Mark it down. Sign the paper. Keontae Scott will have a sack in this game. Because you can outrun defensive ends, maybe. You can't outrun defensive backs while you're trying to throw the ball down the field. And what you're going to see happen more and more of is Ruben Bain's going to move inside. And that's what he did against Ohio State. There was a play in which Ruben Bain and Mesdor were lined up side by side, did a stunt, and both of them ended up in Julian Saint's lap. Both of them. It's petrifying for an offensive line to see that. But he's going to line up, over the guard. He's going to eat the guard for breakfast. There's pictures of Bain being blocked by 3 people. He's getting Warren Sapp treatment. This is a different level of defense, and Ole Miss has never seen this before. They're a really good team. I'm not going to take anything away from them. But the way the goalpost has consistently been moved every time Miami takes the field is crazy to me. It's the ultimate disrespect that even as a favorite, they're still being disrespected. Like, you just saw them annihilate Ohio State. Yes, annihilate. Physically dominate. They physically kicked Ohio State's ass. I don't care what the scoreboard reads. It could have ended up 17-14. You know what happened when Miami had to win the game? They took that ball and marched down the field and got first down after first down after first down against the number 1 defense and number 5 run defense in the country. And then punched it in the end zone to finish it off. That's what they did. So even when Ohio State had a little surge in the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, when it came down to it, the Miami defense did its job and finished the game, and the offense knocked them out, playing bully ball. And understand this, that Ole Miss's defense is not Ohio State's defense. They get gashed on the ground. Gashed. Like, I need you to truly understand. Miami ran for 150 on Ohio State. That is the average on Ole Miss. That is the average. You're playing a team that likes ball control, likes to physically beat your ass. And obviously there are things that are very key in that, including no pre-snap penalties, playing without mistakes on your line, no false starts, no dumb things. You don't do those things, you see what happens. Miami's never playing behind the sticks. They're playing in front of the sticks. They have and Shannon Dawson had a pretty darn good game plan design to keep it in 3rd and short rather than 3rd and long. And Carson Beck did an absolutely fantastic job managing the offense. I mean, the runs that he made, people, I don't think y'all truly value what he did in those runs. He's willing to die for it. Put his helmet into it. Put his body into it. Well, no sliding with your legs. Shit was put my helmet into you and run you over. And then he made the right passes, the right reads, took everything that they gave him. Didn't try to force anything. There was not one pass that Carson Beck threw in that game that was ever in danger of being intercepted. Not one. So the interception guys, yeah. He didn't throw one pass that was even nearly intercepted. Not nearly. Like, there was nothing like that. At one point, he completed 13 straight passes in that game. Like, let me bring this back up. Ole Miss. I love doing this. I love it. Because I like to give you the real on it. And I'm not sitting here saying that Ole Miss can't beat Miami. They sure as shit can. I mean, understand very clearly. They can. They absolutely can beat Miami. But they're not gonna. They're not gonna. Look, I'm gonna go game by game. Kentucky rushed for 172 yards on Ole Miss. Kentucky. Arkansas rushed for 118. Hell, Arkansas, I'm sorry. No, that's wrong. Arkansas rushed for 221 on Ole Miss. Arkansas had 526 yards of offense on Ole Miss. Arkansas won 2 games. Two games. Arkansas scored 35 points on Ole Miss. Their main back went 14 for 115. Even in a game that they won 45-10, they gave 178 yards rushing to Tulane. I mean, they didn't have any big chunks by any running backs, but they still gave 178 yards rushing by Tulane. Going one by one so you can hear these numbers. These numbers are crazy. LSU, their offense stunk. I don't expect nothing from them yet. They shut them down. LSU's offense can't score ever. They were awful. Washington State, who they beat 24-21, a 500 Washington State team, had a running back go 10 carries for 88 yards, and they rushed for 127 on Ole Miss. By the way, this Washington State team stunk. Then you got Georgia, their first game they played. Georgia rushed for 221 on Ole Miss. 221. Then you move into Oklahoma. I don't know what the Oklahoma guys did. Let me take a look. They rushed for 136 on Ole Miss. They had a back go 9 carries for 109. Notice the trend? They beat South Carolina 30-14. South Carolina didn't go anywhere. They stink. They're trash too. So you got 2 teams so far. They held them there. Okay, the Citadel. I'm gonna presume they didn't rush for 100 yards on these guys. No, they didn't either. They had 5 first downs. They're playing the Citadel late in the season. Florida, team that had no offense, rushed for 108 on them. Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl. Their main running back had 20 carries for 173 yards. Camario Taylor, 20 for 173, 2 touchdowns. They rushed for 262 on Ole Miss. I know Ole Miss won the game 38-19. Mississippi State ran the ball down their throats. And then Tulane again. Tulane rushed for 115, had a back goal for 84 on 15 carries. And then you've got Georgia once again, who rushed for 124 and had a back goal 15 for 86. They slowed Georgia down on the ground this time a bit. Two times this year has Ole Miss held teams under 100 yards rushing. Twice. 2 times in 14 games. You telling me that defense is going to stop the Miami running attack? If Miami doesn't run for 200 plus yards, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. like legitimately shocked. My biggest concern of Miami rushing for so many yards is that they're going to break away big plays and go for 50, 60 yards and have quick touchdown strikes. Honestly, rather than eating the clock up and dominating them physically. Because that's the type of defense Ole Miss has. Ole Miss's defense is not very good. 41st in the country, 67th against the run. Miami can run the ball on these guys. Miami's going to keep the ball out of Trinidad Chambliss' hands. Miami's going to physically beat these dudes down. And it starts with hits like that, like I showed you in that video, the way these guys will hit and hit and hit and bring that violent energy, that violent swarming defense. And that's what it's going to be. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are a couple days out. Preview drops on Tuesday. I cannot wait. Let's go. Like, subscribe, follow. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered. Powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.